What's up, party people? It's your boy Raheem coming at you live from the 905 and the 416. Here with your boy Amir, and we got a good one for you. Now, last week, we did one episode, but we broke it down in different pieces, and we got a lot of great feedback saying that was a lot better. And so I think we're going to follow through with that strategy, and we're going to break things down in smaller segments. So today we're going to be talking about some good stuff. We're going to be talking about Zimbabwe announcing a new currency. We're going to be talking about Diddy and everything that's going on with him. I hope you guys have been following what's happening with Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, but we're going to get into that a little bit, and what is a very pressing matter for everybody in North America, and that is the solar eclipse. We're going to be getting into that because Amir has some real insights for you. So with that, without further ado, let's get into Zimbabwe. Let's get into it, Amir. Now, Zimbabwe is announcing a new currency. Do you know why?
So, Zimbabwe is announcing a new currency because they want to tackle the issues regarding the inflation that they've been having. And what they're trying to do is right now in Zimbabwe, besides the Zimbabwean dollar, the US dollar is also accepted as a very easy currency to work with or to pay for any kind of goods or services that you're using over there. And what they want to do is they want to use their own currency, and they want to get people to prefer using their own currency. They want to start off with introducing a new currency, and hopefully the impact of that is going to be that people are going to prefer using the local currency over a foreign currency.
Yeah, exactly. And so what they are calling this is Zim Gold. Symbol is ZIG, which will be backed by gold. So that's the most important thing there. It's going to be backed by gold, precious metals, and other foreign currencies. Now, the new currency would circulate alongside of the other foreign currencies, mainly being the US dollar. Zimbabwean dollar has lost a lot of value over the past year. And so there's a little bit of a history that we found here that we want to get into. But first, I want to make a public service announcement for anybody that is holding any Zimbabwean currency or Zimbabwean dollars. Basically have about 21 days, give or take, to have that converted over. So if you're holding on to a lot of Zimbabwean cash, get it switched over, man, before it becomes obsolete.
I want to add something here.
Talk to me.
So if you have, say, $1,000 Zimbabwean dollars and you get that converted, fine, you get that converted and you get the new currency. But I'm talking, maybe let's look at it 50 years from now, 100 years from now. If someone is holding on to that old currency that nobody has at that point, at that time you have a piece of history in your hand. So,
well, guess what, baby? If you've ever thought of being a billionaire, this is your opportunity. Now, I found a website where you can actually purchase Zimbabwean dollars, billions of dollars, trillions of Zimbabwean dollars. I think 50 billion is listed for $4.99 USD. So you purchase that bill, and you've automatically become a billionaire. Nobody needs to know from where and how, but you were a billionaire. So, that is definitely something to look forward to. Now, if we're talking about the history, Zimbabwe soaring prices basically bring back memories of 2008, when hyperinflation was so out of control that central bank even issued exactly what I was just talking about, the $100 trillion note, now a collector's item. Government was eventually forced to ditch the local currency and adopt the US dollar as legal tender, exactly what Amir just said. Now, the Zimbabwean dollar was revived in 2019, but it has suffered from much of the same problems as its previous incarnation. So, Zimbabwean dollar brought back in 2019 after a decade, and it hasn't done much either. I think it started off with, I believe, an exchange rate of around 160 or 170. I could be wrong. Fact check me on that. Compared to $1 US. And currently it is, I think, around 30,000, right? So you see the big difference there.
Huge difference.
So If so, basically you have 21 days. If you are holding on to any Zimbabwean currency, make sure you get it transferred over and get the new currency. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind with that as well. And actually, I made an interesting discovery. I don't know, maybe you guys knew about this. I didn't. So, the central bank, and we're going to get into that interesting fact in a second, but I wanted to continue. The central bank also said that it was recalibrating its main interest rate. So, currently, in Canada, we worry about our interest rates and, with the mortgages, with any debt borrowing, with the line of credits, credit cards, everything like that. Currently, the interest rate is at 130% in Zimbabwe. So what the central bank wants to do is recalibrate its main interest rate, setting it at 20% without elaborating a drastic cut from the previous, like I said, 130%. Central
And
bank also, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, I was just going to add on to that. And part of that is because their inflation was 55% last month. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that will contribute towards that
Unbelievable.
interest rate. Yeah,
Exactly. We got to get our, inflation down to 2%. And just, I think, about a week and a half ago, Fed Chair Powell said that the interest rate decreases or cuts that we were expecting this year aren't guaranteed. It is very possible that they may delay the interest rate cuts till next year. So that's something to watch out for in the US and Canadian housing market. It has a big impact on the markets, the stocks, everything like that. So keep
absolutely.
that in mind. Now, going back to this, the new currency is set to debut at a rate of 13.56 per dollar on April 8th, with interest rates adjusted to a new level of 20%. ZIG will be fully anchored and fully backed. The central bank also said on Friday that it had 100 million in cash, 2.52 tons of gold worth $100 million in reserve assets. Now, this is what takes me to the interesting part. So when we talk about a gold backed currency, US, Canada, they both used to be gold backed. And then I believe in the 70s is when US stopped being gold backed. And same with Canada. I think Canada was actually, they stopped being backed by gold a little bit earlier than that. So now, currently, as of today, Amir, let me ask you
Hmm.
this. How much do you think the U.S. Treasury holds in reserve for gold in in tons? Because we just talked about Zimbabwe having 2.52 tons. How much do you think the U.S. has?
Man, just thinking on top of my head, I
Hmm.
think US would have a lot of gold, and
Yeah.
I think 2.5 is nowhere close
Okay.
to that number. I wouldn't be surprised if the number is well beyond 50 or even 80 or even 100 tons. I wouldn't be surprised. And the reason why I say this is because I feel that the U.S. has the economy and has a much bigger economy,
Yeah.
and that economy spends that money, and the money just keeps circulating, and because of that circulation, U.S. has the power to hold on to something in such a big amount.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, look, um, it's not accurate, but
I'm
it
sure it
is a
wasn't. This
guess.
is just me guessing. Yeah, exactly.
So the US actually has over 8,100 tons of gold in their
See,
reserves.
yeah.
Okay. 8,100 tons is actually number one in gold reserves in the world. Okay. In their treasury. What do
And
you
I'm not
think?
surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, I would think that the U.S. would have a lot more. And yeah, me saying 100 tons was just me thinking just randomly on top of my head. But the number
No,
doesn't
absolutely.
surprise me at all.
Listen, I'm going to give you an opportunity to make this up. Okay. So let me ask you, what do you think Canada holds in its reserves?
Okay, so when it comes to Canada, I think Canada will not be anywhere close to that 8,100 point.
Okay.
Yeah,
You think
I
it's going to
would.
be closer to Zimbabwe?
It's definitely more than Zimbabwe, but
More than Zimbabwe.
nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I that's what I think. It would be more than Zimbabwe, but not nowhere close to US.
Okay. So
So
if
if I'm to
Zimbabwe is
pick a
at,
number,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, if I'm to put a number, my
Hmm.
guess would be somewhere maybe now you say 8,100 for the US. I would say maybe somewhere around 200-300 tons.
200-300. Okay.
Yeah.
So Canada has a
And you're
whopping
laughing, I'm thinking you're gonna say something that's less than Zimbabwe.
Canada has a whopping 0 reserve of gold. 0.
Or maybe they're just lending it to the US, right?
So the Canadian government has been selling off its gold reserves since the mid 1960s, when over 1,000 tons were kept tucked away. Half of those reserves were then sold by 1985, and then almost the rest of them were sold through the 1990s up to 2002, after which we've had no gold. There are apparently 88 other countries in the world that don't have gold or any gold reserves. Good thing, I guess, is that Canada does export and mine a decent amount of gold. So there is something to that. However, in our reserves, we don't really have any gold.
You don't have anything. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's shocking, man. That's shocking news to me.
It certainly is shocking. But yeah. So the key takeaway here is, if you're holding some Zimbabwe cash, you should get it converted. If you're looking to become a quick billionaire or a trillionaire, you could become a billionaire with as little as $4.99. I will literally put the link of this website in the description so you guys can purchase a note and keep it for your collector's items. All right?
Absolutely. I'm doing that.
Sounds good. Well, we will catch you on the next one. This is a quick one, but we're going to get right back and we're going to be talking about some other topics. So make sure you guys tune in and check us out. It's your boy signing out.